I like two things: rally cars and cars that are going up in value. And today's video to talk to you about 5 cars that all have great rallying pedigree and are all going way up in price way too quickly. So if you're trying to get one of these 5 cars, I would recommend getting it relatively soon because prices have just gone mental recently. All of these cars currently cost less than £20,000. If you want to see the same video again under £10,000 instead, hit the like button. 1,000 likes will make that video. And let me know in the comments if I should do rally cars or race cars next time. Let's get straight into it. Picture this, it's the early 1980s, the dawn of hot hatchbacks as we know them, and Peugeot are in one of their solid eras where they're actually making nice cars, kind of like more recently to be honest. Group B has taken motorsport by storm as the most powerful, most dangerous but most exhilarating version of rallying the world has ever seen, and Peugeot have built a car so formidable it can take on and beat the legendary Audi Quattro to the 1985 and 1986 World Rally Championships, the Peugeot 205 T16. The T16 road car is built to allow the 205 to actually race, but unfortunately it's way out of our price range for this video, but the 205 GTI, which is a popular car in national and regional rally championships, absolutely is. With its 1.9 litre inline-4 engine producing just 130 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 7.8 seconds. This was genuinely one of the earliest examples of a hot hatchback. The GTI actually came as a 1.6 as well, which was basically a slightly lower overall spec, with cloth seats instead of leathers in the 1.9, while the 1.9 also got disc brakes all around, 15-inch alloys and a couple of other bits that the 1.6 didn't get. What's so crazy about the 205's impact on the hot hatch world is how it basically sets a standard that other Peugeot hot hatches have failed to replicate for many years to come. Genuinely look up journalist reviews of cars like the 206 GTI and the 308 GTI, they can't help themselves but do some comparison back to this car, showing its longer term impact. Either way, as a result of these cars' iconic status from both the rallying world and the hot hatchback history, these have been relentlessly going up in price over the last 10 to 15 years, and I've seen some low mileage well kept examples sitting at the 30k mark for true collectors. In our price range though, these start at around £10,000, with 20 grand being enough for a nice 1993 model with around 80,000 miles on it. Leaking sunroofs are a very well known problem with these, as were electrical issues, exhaust problems and worn valve seals. Jumping from the Group B era forward to the early 2000s when the WRC cars were piloted by legends such as Marcus Gronholm, Richard Burns, Sebastian Loeb and probably most importantly for this video, Colin McRae, the man who put the Focus RS solidly on the map, particularly when he lost the championship in 2001 by just 2 points after having a spectacular crash in the final round alongside co-driver and fellow legend Nicky Grist. The first generation Focus WRC that he was driving was celebrated with a matching road car, the Ford Focus RS, which stands for Rally Sport of course. This was a very important car as the RS badge hadn't been seen since cars like the Escort RS Cosworth, so it was a great revival and a commitment to fast forward lovers everywhere that their beloved cars would still be made. It arrived at the end of 2002 and was only produced until late 2003 with just 13 months of production, and all cars had effectively the same specs, all the way down to the same colour, imperial blue. It comes with a 2 litre turbocharged inline-4 engine producing 215 brake horsepower, which would get to 60 in 6.2 seconds, not bad for a hot hatch of its time, particularly when you consider that it's a front-wheel drive car. I've always thought it was a bit of a shame that Ford only started making all-wheel drive RSs with the 3rd gen Focus, as the 1st and 2nd gen are such nice cars they deserve some of that rallying prowess too. Some legendary names were involved in making this car a reality, including Jost Capito, former Williams F1 team boss who was head of Team RS at the time and is credited with pushing for this car's development. Without him we may have never seen it hit the roads. These start at around £17,000 today, which is crazy money, and for 20 grand you'll get a 2003 model with 90k on it. I still remember these being at the 10k mark just a few years ago. Coolant leaks, bonnet lining falling away and some transmission issues with early examples are worth checking on these. Now we need to go back a few years to the mid-1990s to another quite iconic, dare I say it, infamous rally car, the Toyota Celica ST205. The GT4 had already made the name for itself in previous generations, winning the World Championships under Carlos Sainz Sr. in 1992 and Didier Auriol in 1994, and it looks set to do the same when the ST205 arrived for the 1995 World Rally Championship, with 2 of those legends still at the helm. It was doing pretty well against the Subaru Impreza that Sainz and McRae were both now driving, with with all 4 drivers getting top 10 finishes, and both Kankkunen and Oriol were looking to be solid title contenders. Drivers from other teams couldn't understand how, under the power limiting regulations, the Toyota could be as fast as it was, which was made particularly clear on some of the head-to-head special stages, where the Celica would simply outdrag the Impreza off the line and on the straights. This sparked an investigation by scrutineers that would uncover one of the most ingenious cheating strategies ever attempted in motorsports, and the whole team was disqualified from the 1995 season. They had created a solution whereby the turbo restrictor, which limited airflow and kept brake horsepower to the 300 mark, would look very normal when inspected off the car, but when fitted it would slide open a 5mm gap to suck in more air and potentially increase the power by 50 horsepower, which is pretty incredible. The famous Max Mosley was head of the FIA at the time and said it was the most sophisticated device he had seen in 30 years of motorsports. Okay, so I've rattled on a lot about that story, but I think it's so interesting that all you need to know is that the car I've listed in this video is the road-going, non-homologation version of that rally car, with its 2-litre turbocharged inline 4 producing 239 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 6.1 seconds. If you want a slice of this WRC history, it will cost you around £9,000 at the bottom end, and 20k will get you into a 1994 model with 50,000 miles on it. Genuinely, these have only been on the up for the last few years, and on reliability, rust is the key thing to look out for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you are, do hit the like button, I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe as well if you're new here. And let me know in the comments down below what the most iconic car in the world is for under £20,000. I think all 5 of these cars have some claim to it, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, if you want to talk about iconic rally cars, there is nothing more iconic than this, the Impreza, at least according to the recent vote on the most iconic rally car of all time done by WRC. The Subaru World Rally team, with its distinctive blue with the yellow stickers down the side, was a staple in the World Rally Championship for quite some time, but the Impreza was really the car that stole hearts, particularly in the war of win on Sunday, sell on Monday. The Impreza won 3 Drivers' Championships between 1995 and 2003 with Callum W at the helm, as well as 2 others I consider to be legends, Richard Burns and Petter Solberg, and it also won 3 Constructors titles in that time. But outside of the WRC, it has also won championships and at least 30 other national, regional and international rallying championships, showing just how versatile this car was as a rallying platform. The second generation Impreza WRX STI is probably the best value for money right now in terms of having the iconic saloon shape, but not costing as much as a P1 or 22B. Instead, these start at around £10,000, with 20 grand getting you a 2006 model with 30k on it. For that money, you're getting yourself a 2.5 litre turbocharged Boxer 4 engine, which makes 276 brake horsepower in line with the Japanese Truce, taking it from 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds. There were 3 versions of this car, the Bug-Eye from 2000 to 2002, the Blob-Eye from 2002 to 2005, and the most recent Hawkeye from 2005 to 2007. Personally, the Blob-Eye is my favourite, but that's a matter of personal preference. What you should be aware of though is that although the STI is the top tier of these cars, the WRX has often been the better choice for later models, as that 2.5 litre block is known for all sorts of problems, including head gasket failure. There were earlier STIs with 2 litre blocks instead, but many people prefer to go with the WRX nowadays anyway, as they have proven to be that little bit more reliable. Either way, we've seen the price on these go from being dirt cheap to now having a bit of a surge, and with the P1 and 22B prices having already skyrocketed, this is all the average person might be able to afford. The Impreza's arch nemesis in both the rallying and tuner world is this, the Mitsubishi Lancer, which came in a bunch of generations named Evolutions. Many of these were highly successful rally cars, particularly when you gave them to the certified legend Tommi Mäkinen, as he won 4 championships in a row from 1996 and 1999 in the Evo 3, 4, 5 and 6, and it's that Evo 6 that I wanted to talk about in this video. These are incredibly hard to come by now, and to be honest, they almost always have been, with their specs not being super clear to people looking to buy them. If you ever looked on Auto Trader for one, you'll probably find many generations incorrectly listed as the wrong Evo, which also doesn't help. But what's special about the Evo 6 is that it was the final Evo to come on a Group A platform in order to homologate the car into the World Rally Championship, which Mitsubishi weren't required to do with the Evo 7. The FIA forced Mitsubishi to run to WRC rules instead of winning WRC with a Group A car, so they didn't need to homologate tailgate with an Evo 7 road car, meaning that the Evo 6 is the last Evo that's literally that close to the real rally car that Tommi Mäkinen won in. The Evo 6 therefore was focused on being performant, with better engine cooling and durability, and the RS in particular got everything thrown at it to make it faster and stronger. The 6 also got a nice little facelift and some more creature comforts on the interior too. It of course came with a 2-litre turbocharged inline-4 block which made 276 brake horsepower, taking it to 60 in 4.4 seconds, mind-bending pace compared to the other cars on this list. And today all that could be yours, starting anywhere from around the 19k region, as genuinely Evos have just gone absolutely clear in price already. The best examples are already upwards of 60 grand. Rusty chassis legs and wheel arches are key problems with these, and a rusty wastegate too, which can kill boost pressure. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, then do hit the like button and subscribe as well if you're new. Massive thanks to the page for their support, and to you guys as well for watching. And if you watch another video on some cheap luxury cars, then click up here and subscribe down here.